Welcome back everyone to Showbiz India, and today it is indeed my pleasure to welcome Doneen, the director of The Price of Free, on Showbiz India for the first time. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
When did you first hear about Kailash?
Actually, not until Davis Guggenheim approached me with the story. So Davis is a friend and my mentor, obviously an amazing, accomplished filmmaker. He was making his movie, He Named Me Malala, about Malala Yousafzai.
I've seen it, that's a fantastic movie as well.
Yeah, yes. It is. And so he was shooting that movie, and as she was winning the Nobel Prize in Oslo, he met Kailash. They won the prize at the same time. And so he texted me and just said, I just met this amazing man, and I feel like the world isn't really paying attention to his story. So I was immediately inspired to want to help bring his message and his mission to as many people as I could, and just inspired as a storyteller and how we could make this movie and tell this story. You know, he's rescued 88,000 children from slavery by infiltrating child trafficking networks and breaking into factories and actually stealing these children away and then reuniting them with their families. So that the element of that, those raid and rescue operations, I knew would be an exciting part of the storytelling, and then putting that up against the really beautiful, delicate story of these children sort of finding their innocence and rediscovering the childhood that was taken from them was something that I was really excited about from day one.
I can just imagine, and I can't agree with you more, how this is such an important topic that not enough of us are talking about.
Right, exactly. And we all sort of have a say. We're all a little bit complicit because we don't think about it, and we don't put pressure on brands and governments to care about and protect our children.
What was your first reaction when you met him?
I mean, he's just a relentlessly, unapologetically optimistic person, and just so full of love and light and positive energy. And it's infectious. When I was with him trying to dig deeper and kept thinking there's this hidden layer that he's not showing me to his personality. But that truly is who he is.
अभी सब लोग कोई डर रहा है, तुम लोग डर रहे हो? डरो नहीं.
I have seen corruption, injured children with broken spirits.
ये क्या बंदा है बेटा?
My colleagues and I have freed over 80,000 children, but that is not enough.
One of the things I took away from your film is, I also had just heard about him when he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014, is his amazing support system of his family, and how they're relentless in this mission as well.
Yeah.
How did you feel about meeting his wife and the rest of his family?
Yeah, I mean, Sumeda, his wife, is just amazing. So she sort of oversees the ashram, so she's there with the children every day. And it's a hard job because these children come in broken. They don't trust adults, they don't trust each other. They're very confused about where they are and what's happened to them. And she needs to educate and at the same time give them the space to recover and give them the love they need. Many of these children don't really know what it feels like to experience that love, to be loved, to give love. And so she's just amazing at that. I mean, the whole family's fearless. Bhuvan, his son, is his right-hand man in the organization. He actually writes a lot of laws. He keeps, I think, the train on the tracks in many ways. And I worked very closely with him throughout the process. And his daughter as well. She's an activist in India, not with Kailash's organization, but she's also fighting for the rights of people. It's just inspiring to see how much time and energy they give to the lives of others.
Now let's talk about some of the downside, in the sense that it's not always all triumph. There's a lot of reality where the raids go wrong, people get killed, people are hurt, sometimes a raid is a failure.
Yes,
How did you feel when you were recording that?
That's part of the movie. You see that Kailash has lost two of his colleagues doing this work. One was beaten to death, the other was shot and killed. And he's been beaten himself multiple times and hospitalized multiple times.
He broke his back?
Broke his back, he still has a bad shoulder. Just 3 weeks before we started shooting, in fact, Arshad, one of the activists featured in the film, was kidnapped and obviously found. But these threats are still very real. It's something that we, considered carefully. We had to really be careful and plan as much as we could. But at the end of the day, we really just had to trust Kailash and his team. This is the work they do day in and day out for the last 35 years. And also, the ultimate goal is freeing these children who, again, are facing sometimes unspeakable conditions. So we were always thinking about the children first, that was the ultimate goal. Once the raids started, you just had to embrace the chaos and just go along for the ride and just focus at the job at hand.
Were you ever afraid of your safety?
I think You know, I definitely thought about it, and it was nerve-wracking perhaps on the drive in, but once the raid starts, there's too much going on to be afraid. I think you're just so focused on doing what you need to do to rescue the children and to get the footage that we needed to get. I wasn't really thinking about safety in those moments. I was just reacting.
This boy has been missing for 7 months.
The child has been taken
To Delhi.
This is quite a dangerous area. We have been attacked there 2 times. Where are the children?
So what would you say was the most challenging scene perhaps for you to shoot?
I think I expected going in that the children would be so excited to see us and sort of running into open arms. And in fact, they've been so brainwashed by their slave masters and the factory owners that they are afraid of us. They don't trust adults. They don't think we're there to help them. They don't even understand what help means. And so that dichotomy was not what I expected. And I was expecting sort of the result of the raids to look and feel very different than it was.
Through the process of the movie, do you feel changed?
Yeah, I think it's impossible for it not to affect me in a deep, personal way. Spending so much time with these children was a beautiful experience, and having the opportunity to see what's going on in an up close and personal way shifted my perspective on the world. I think really every project does for me because of the time that's invested with people as I tell their stories, but this one in a significant way. It reshapes the way I think about everything in my life and the way I see the world around me. And I hope that for the audience who watches the movie, a little bit of that will rub off on them as well.
Rescue operations and raids are important, but one tiny part of the whole movement.
I have one single mission of my life, that every child should be free to be a child. Free to laugh and cry, free to go to school, free to touch the sky.
तुमने क्या बताया था तुमको क्या बनोगे घर जाके?
I have seen that change is possible.
If you see any kind of abuse and exploitation of any child anywhere,
Break the silence.
This year's Nobel Peace Prize has gone to Indian Kailash Satryarthi.
We cannot end child labor unless we all demand it. March with me. March with me.